During 4th of July celebrations, I've been hearing a lot of explosives. Of course, it's fireworks, so it's for fun. However, that brought some thoughts regarding these loud uh, explosion voices or noises. Uh, if you don't know what it is, it actually sounds like a bomb or something, and I can't really tell the difference between a bomb and a firework. So if I didn't know it was 4th of July, I would be pretty alarmed when I hear these. So that can make you think of people who live in war zones. The sounds of bombing that could happen, that could go on for hours or days, how terrifying they can be for the people who live there. And if you live in such a place and conditions, when you hear the noises of explosions, not only they sound scary, but they are scarier because you don't know where they're coming from and where they will hit next. So your house could be next, basically. And that just brings us to another fact that all this suffering is man-made. The wars that are going on, the destruction of countries and cities that has been going on, of course, since the dawn of humanity. As long as we can remember, as long as our history started recording, we know of wars. All are man-made. So I think it's very safe to say that 99.99% of human trouble is man-made, except for death and some diseases, of course, a lot of diseases. But poverty, wars, destruction are all man-made. And when you think about that, when you think about a bullet or a bomb that is by design is made to hit a human being and to hurt a human being, it's just astonishing. And of course, it's not that simple. Why wars take place. It's not that people just want to or love to harm one another. It's more complex and complicated than that. But there is an aspect, of course, of human greed and aggression that is a big factor. One thing also, when thinking of all that, if you can think of our shared humanity, like as a human being, when we are hurt or hit, we know what pain is. So if you get burned, for example, you know how bad the burning of fire on your skin is. If you break your bones or any kind of pain, when you experience it as a human, you just need to experience it once and you would know how bad it is. And I think if you do experience that, then that should give you compassion for other humans like you, and you would know what they go through if they experience the same pain. So any sane, decent human being would not want another human being to suffer the pain that we know as human beings. So our shared humanity should make us more compassionate and more cautious not to cause this kind of pain on other human beings. But of course, that's not the case. And I think that poses more questions than answers. Like, why do all the human beings that caused harm on purpose and caused all these wars, what were they thinking? What do they think when they know that this pain will be suffered by another human being, and they know what pain is? They know it's going to be children, it's going to be people that didn't directly harm them in any way. And if you think of anything, if you think of what the Nazis did to the Jews and other people in Europe, what other, many other things in our modern and ancient history. And you know what? No race and no religion is free. If it's innocent of that, everyone did their part. So mentioning just one example doesn't mean that it's the most important or the most or the Nazis are just the worst example. Every culture, every religion, and every group of people are, are responsible for some kind of pain that they cause on other human beings. So I think that's the question, the thing that uh, that's astonishing. Why do human beings cause all this suffering to each other? But then that brings us to another optimistic point, which is if all that is man-made, that means that the undoing of that can also be man-made. If we caused wars and destructions and poverty and extreme poverty, that means we as human beings can also undo that and resolve wars, and we can resolve poverty, and we can resolve the problems that are causing human suffering. If we just, if more of us, tune into the shared humanity of all of us, and get this, just get this feeling that if I suffer from pain and I don't like it for myself, I'm not gonna like it for others either. And it's the golden rule in all spiritual traditions. Do unto others what you like others to do unto you. And in Prophet Muhammad in Islam said, you do not believe until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. And this rule exists in all spiritual traditions. So on a good note, on a positive note, we did it as human beings, we caused it, but we can also undo it and we can resolve it. And I think it's our responsibility, each one of us who has consciousness of this shared humanity, who doesn't like to cause harm to other people, we have our small role to resolve some of the human suffering out there.